Hey guys, it's Ron Bass. Yep, that's me with another edition of, guess what? It's the Ron Bass Show, your source for inspiration, encouragement, motivation, dry humor. Mr. Brent Atterbury, what say you, sir?
It's a good day to be alive.
It's a good day. Any day is a good day to be alive. What's with all the rain here in Missouri the last week?
I don't know.
Storms and rain and...
I guess we need those that rain to make everything green and all the flowers to bloom.
Okay, well, that sounds good. But why 50 degrees and it's almost summertime? What's up with that? And the wind's blowing and it's raining and it's cold.
I don't know where everybody's from watching our podcast, but where we're from, just give it an hour or two and it'll change.
It'll change.
Yep.
Change is in the air. Isn't there a song like that way back in the day?
Probably.
Change, I think change is in the air. Or that's an old
Probably.
saying. That's an old saying anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we going to talk about today? Look, guys, don't rest on your laurels. I want to talk about this.
Is your rear end called your laurels?
I'm not sure what laurel really means. I think it means basically your accomplishments.
Oh.
I think it's a synonym for like something accomplishments. That's what I've always been done. Don't rest on your laurels. Don't be satisfied with where you're at in your life. You have to always be thinking about improvement.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that what our podcast is supposed to be about?
Yes.
Working on improvement.
Yes, sir.
Same day, or sorry, personal development. I have another brand called Same Day Jiu-Jitsu, Same Day Service, yeah, Same Day Automotive Repair. So people make fun of me all the time because I do so many different things, but I think it's just the way my brain's wired. I enjoy challenge, and I want to encourage you guys to do the same thing. Just don't be worried about having challenges. Embrace the challenge. Find ways to overcome challenge. Find ways to work through them. It's exciting, really, because it's like a puzzle, you know. When you have this puzzle, you got to figure things out as you go, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's cool. I think that's really what's good about life is it's all about education, really. Whether you're doing martial arts, whether you're going to school, whether you want to be a professional, whether you have a sport thing that you're doing, you want to be a competitor. Doesn't matter what it is. Maybe being a better parent, maybe being a better son, maybe being a better human being. So look, you have to earn your rank every day. That's an old saying also. You have to basically be accomplished every day. And if you are, you're going to find out that you're going to feel so much better about yourself, because accomplishment is the drug. We talk about this all the time. I was talking to somebody the other day I know what it was. I said, the only way to feel better is to feel better about yourself. Now, somebody else has probably coined that phrase, but I like that. I came up with that the other day. I was thinking, the only way to feel better is to feel better about yourself. But what happens? People are always chasing that good feeling. We talk about this a lot on the podcast. You can't be happy with these Band-Aids. You know, well, I'm in love with somebody. I feel really good. Okay, that's cool. But that's not going to make you feel better about yourself. I made a lot of money. That's cool, but that's not going to make you feel better about yourself. You have to be working on or doing drugs or smoking pot every day or drinking every day or doing drugs every day or eating, great meals every day. Yeah, that's enjoyable. I get it. But that's not the secret. The secret to happiness is to feel good about yourself. And everybody that I know, just about, with the exception of a few people, don't buy into that. They don't realize how important it is to focus on your personal development. That's why we do the podcast, to hopefully influence a few people out there in the world. And by the way, thank you for our subscribers that send me messages and comments and listen to us every week. I think it's something like only 2% of our subscribers listen to us every week out of a lot of subscribers. So I appreciate you guys, because that's really my goal. As the old Jewish saying says, is to help one person is as if to have helped the whole world. To save one person's life is as if to have saved the whole world, or helped the whole world. To help somebody is as if to have helped the whole world, one person. So look, I don't want to just preach and preach and preach, but let's just break it down. if you're struggling with mental illness or unhappiness, and you're anxious and you're not satisfied with things, you have to make it a goal to solve that. And there's a lot of resources. It's not like it's magic. It's hard work. You have to find good people in your life that are ambitious and focused and sober and stable people that will encourage you along the way. You have to read. You have to have good counseling. You have to work out. You can't be eating excessively. You can't be smoking. You can't be drinking excessively anyway. If you have a drink once in a while, okay, that's cool. But if you're an alcoholic and you know you're drinking and you have to keep drinking and drinking and drinking, you can't do that. I was with a client yesterday. This guy's 87 years old. Great guy, former business owner. We worked on his attic fan in his ceiling. And his son, I could tell, was really drunk. And his son's got to be probably 60 or 70. And he was drunk and playing a guitar in the living room. And the father was kind of talking about his son to me, and he said, "Ron, I don't know what to do with him. I can't do anything with him. He just drinks every day." You can't find happiness that way. That's not going to be there. And the father and I were talking. He says, "Yeah, I've never drank. I've never smoked. I've worked my whole life. I came up, lived on the farm. And so forth and so on." He had a great work ethic, but he was around really good people. Of course, the kid was around his dad, but he probably left and went to college and got with the wrong people. And next thing you know, you're drinking, you're smoking, you're drugging, you're chasing women, and doing all these things that is not going to make your life more complete. Well, I've done all that. I get it, but when you're young, it's one thing. But when you get a little bit older, 30, 40, 50, you got to figure it out, man. You can't have a successful, happy, fulfilling life going down that track, going down that road. It's not going to happen. So there again, I don't want to preach, but you have to focus on your own personal development. It's so important, guys. All right. And remember the 4 different modes every day. I think about this a lot too. I like to remind people of this because this is what I do every day. It's like a barometer. Where am I at today? Financially, emotionally, psychologically, financially. Am I in emergency mode? Am I in survival mode? Emergency mode is not the same as survival mode. Emergency mode is like, the ship's sinking. And I'm like, got my snorkel up in the air trying to figure out what to do next. And that's bad. That's like the worst scenario. Before the ship really sinks all the way and it goes all the way in the water. Survival mode is a little better. Like you're kind of hanging in there. The ship's getting ready to go down, but it hasn't sunk yet. And you're trying to figure out what to do to get upright again. Par mode is, okay, everything's kind of rolling along, sort of okay. You're feeling not happy, not sad, but kind of in the middle. You're paying your bills, mostly. Emotionally, you're feeling, it's kind of a teeter-totter. One minute you kind of feel okay, the next minute you're I'm not sure. But you're more upright than you're going down. And then the best mode is advanced mode. That's when you're feeling like you're on fire, man. You can make anything happen. You're ambitious. You're working hard. Things are clicking. So, look, but during the course of every day, in each one of those categories, emotionally, psychologically, physically, financially, you're going to have to use this barometer, in my opinion, to see where you're at and what you need to do to get to advance. Because everything should be working towards advance, right? That's where we want to be every day. It ain't going to be that way, guys. I'd say it a lot. A lot of times it's going to be the worst case scenario, and that's just life. I don't make these rules. I just understand them, and I learn to follow them. I can see you over there moving your lips.
I agree.
Peaks
and valleys. Peaks and valleys.
Peaks and valleys.
Yep. It's just like business. Life is never just a straight line. There's ups and there's downs, and there's ups and there's downs. You got to be able to survive the downs and manage the ups.
Good point. When I was coming up through the ranks, and I had some emotional and mental problems when I was young, and I would go to a psychologist, and he would say, "Ron, I think you're too gray or too white, you're too black, or you're too." He said, "You don't have any gray area. You're either one way or the other. You're either all the way up or all the way down, and you have to learn gray." And I thought to myself, I didn't see myself that way, but that's the way he viewed me. So yeah, he was right. You have to have you have to look at things from a lot of different, viewpoints. You can't just be like all the way this way or all the way that way. There's a lot of in-betweens. Okay, on to another subject. I was thinking about, kind of along those lines, how much there's a lot of strife in life. You heard that word, strife?
I guess. What does that mean?
Well, it means there's a lot of heartache.
Oh.
And it seems like everywhere you look, there's a lot of people that are really heartbroken. Whether it's the death of a family member or a friend or a breakup, or, there's a war going on, or people are dying, or there's, illness. And what I'm getting at here is that, look, you can't be surprised with these sorts of things. It's just life, man. You can't be naive to think that things are going to be wonderful all the time. They're not going to be. So
yeah.
We have to learn to manage adversity, learn to be comfortable with uncomfortableness, one of my favorite sayings. Doesn't mean you have to like it, doesn't mean you're going to just jump up and down with joy every time something goes wrong, but you have to find ways to manage. And one of the best ways that I've learned, and I know I say it all the time, is to work out. Hell, if you just go to the gym and work out 10 minutes a day, you can build yourself up to where I'm at an hour a day. But I didn't do it overnight, it took years. And then you get into the habit. Once you're into the habit, it's just the way it is every day. You don't even think about it, right? One last thing, and then we'll let you talk to us about what you've got on your mind. There's a friend of mine that is really having a hard time with relationships, and this person's been married, divorced, relationship breakup, and I've talked to that person till I'm blue in the face. It's an old saying too, blue in the face. And so I've realized you can't push that rope. You can't tell anybody how to live their life, right? But so I don't talk about it anymore. Now, if that person brings it up to me, I'll tell her how I feel.
Yeah.
But the bottom line, what I'm trying to get at is here, you can't. It becomes an addiction. I don't want to be alone. I want to have a friendship. I want to have a relationship. No, that you're better off when you break up with somebody, guys, is just to leave it alone and go through the struggle. I used to give myself a year after a breakup, not date anybody. You have to have time to recover. You have to have time to understand it. You have to realize what happened, how to improve your life enough to where you make better choices, probably, and be more honest with yourself about when you have a relationship. Is it going well, not going well? Why are you attracted to that person? You should be attracted for the right reasons, not because they're handsome or gorgeous. You should be attracted because they're a good person. They're a good person, and you respect them, and vice versa. Yeah, when you're young, it's not that easy. I get it, but that's the goal that you should have when it comes to relationships. Everything else is gravy. Everything else is icing on the cake. Yeah, if it's fun to be around them and they're entertaining and you have great affection towards each other, so that's cool. But in the end, you better like that person. You better get along. And you guys better respect each other. It's going to be hell to pay if you don't have that going for yourself. That's my opinion. All right, what say you, sir?
Well, I came across this article where this doctor, he held the Guinness Book of World Records longest practicing doctor at 103 years old.
103?
Yeah. Now,
wow.
He has recently passed away. But they did go in and ask him all the questions everybody wants to know. What do you got to do to live that long? And everybody wants to know the secret, to longevity. He said that genetics and luck play an important role, but daily habits and mindset also shape how people age physically and mentally. He said the common things like diet and exercise are no-brainers. You've got to do both.
Yes.
You've got to, eat right. You've also got to exercise.
Yes.
But he said these three things were as or more important. One was keep the mind active and engaged.
Okay.
He said mental activity is essential for maintaining clarity and quality of life. He said you got to compare the brain to a muscle. When you don't use it, you lose it. So he said himself, he enrolled in law school at 60 and passed the exam at 67.
You're kidding.
He was already a doctor.
Wow.
And practicing.
He went to law school at 60?
Yes, and passed at 67.
Wow.
Yeah.
Became a lawyer on top of being a
Yep.
doctor.
Yep. Yep.
Late in life.
Yes. Number 2.
That's impressive.
Don't carry hatred. He said this is a big deal. He said because what happens is it causes undue stress and negatively affects heart health. It can shorten your lifespan by being stressed, being filled with hate all the time. And then last, he said, enjoy everything in moderation. He said, it's okay to have a steak once in a while. It's okay to do different things, but he said, do it all in moderation. He said, you can't eat just steak. You need to also have some vegetables.
Yeah.
But do everything in moderation.
I like that.
And that's the secret to living to be 103 years old.
That's cool. Not as cool as you, but
Oh,
cool.
yeah. And then this one's kind of cool, but this next one ties right into today's message. Today's National Rescue Dog Day.
Ooh, we like that.
Yeah, but then this one, I've never seen this before. Today is National Be a Millionaire Day.
Ooh, I like that.
I was like, what's that? And it's a fun day that encourages people to dream big, map out the financial strategies to reach your goals.
Yep.
Word for word.
I like it.
Fits right in with
Perfect.
today's message. So, anyway.
Speaking of rescuing a dog, my client yesterday actually did rescue a dog last year. It's a little bitty dog. What's it called?
Chihuahua.
Something like that.
No.
Yeah.
Shih Tzu.
Yeah, shit.
Bless you.
Anyway, this little dog was barking at me when I first got there, but I was determined to make him my friend. And before the session was out, he was licking on me. But, you have to be patient, and you have to be determined, and you have to be consistent with your effort to try to convince the animal that you're going to be okay. And I was talking to him heavy.
Yeah.
And at the end, he was licking on me, jumping up on my leg and everything.
Or put peanut butter on your pant leg.
I thought about that. This guy at 103, listen, if he made it to 103, we better listen to everything he said.
Yeah.
But I will say this, genetics does play a big role. Sometimes you just get lucky and you've got great genetics, and sometimes you don't. And unfortunately, it's not good. So, luck of the draw sometimes when it comes to certain successes in life, in my opinion. But hard work, I think, will always triumph. Mm-hmm. Consistency, hard work is like a huge piece of the puzzle. At any rate. Anything else, sir?
No, sir.
We've bored people enough, so we'll get out of here. But in the interim, we'll say this. Just remember, which is kind of hard to do when you get old. I say that every time. It gets harder and harder to remember things when you get old, I tell you that. And you get forgetful. Like you leave the water on. I've done that a few times. I have to go back to the house. Did I leave the water on? It's kind of weird, isn't it? Oh, guess what? I left my gas cap off the other day. I put gas in. I drive off. I put it on the back of the bumper. And sure enough, when I checked my next time I put gas in, I forgot to put the cap back on. I'm doing all the things that my dad and mother used to do when they got old, right? Now here I'm doing the same thing.
Wow.
Anyway, it could be a lot worse.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't give up, you eventually remember the stars. Remember the stars in the sky?
Yes.
They're going to line
At
up.
night.
At night, yeah. I got a merit badge in astronomy when I was a Boy Scout, by the way.
Really?
I can't remember hardly anything. I remember the Big Dipper.
Wow.
At any rate, if the stars line up, eventually you're going to be a lot happier when the stars line up, because that's when everything is good. So here's the key, guys. When that happens, and while it happens, just remember the most important thing all day long, every day, is to stay and to be and remain positive.